Okay, the time is 6:30. It is Tuesday, July the 29th, 2025. We are at the Poetry Town Hall, and we are here to have a special town council meeting. I'll start off by establishing that we have quorum. I, Mike Jaffe, the mayor, am here. Councilman Kendrick?
Here.
Councilwoman Hibbs?
Here.
Councilman Bryant?
Here.
Councilman Anderson?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Fowler?
Here.
Okay, we have quorum. Councilman Kendrick has agreed to lead us in the pledge, and then Councilwoman Hibbs will lead us in the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go by your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for walking with us today and traveling with us wherever we've gone. We know that you'll be with us again tomorrow. As we proceed with our meeting tonight, let us do everything according to your will. Guide us, lead us, and protect us, Lord. In these things I pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, too.
Thank you, Doug and Tracy. Okay, so we have the agenda in front of us. I'm going to not speak on community interest stuff. We're going to have a regular meeting here coming up. I want to kind of keep it short tonight because I called this at the last minute. And, let me start off by thanking the council for your willingness to be here on a Tuesday night. This is not a regular cycle, and although I'm trying desperately to work all of our business into the third Thursday meetings, this one kind of snuck up on me. So let me start off with an apology because it's my fault we're here, and I'm okay admitting that, but not proud of it. Back on June the 26th, as I said in the agenda, I was approached by the Encore rep, who apparently is new to our account, and she introduced herself by email and said something about getting together for lunch and all of that. And I thought, well, that's, I said, I don't need lunch, but you can come by and we'll visit one day, just meet each other. And she said, by the way, I need to drop something off. And I said, yeah, we're here on Thursdays, just drop it off. And well, what she dropped off was this. Okay, 300 pages. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's probably just some thing they have to give cities, each year on their rates or something. I didn't pay any attention to it. So that's where I went wrong. So I got an email from her about a week ago, and this is the Encore account rep, and she said, are you going to be able to vote on the rate increase by the 31st? And I said, well, we just had our July meeting, so that would be a no. We'll meet again in August. And she said, oh, okay. And I thought, well, maybe they have some contingency where they can let people vote late. Well, I started reading the letter that came with the package, and it said, if you do not vote one way or the other by the 31st, you are a for vote, like F-O-R, in favor of. And I thought, yeah, that ain't happening. We are not in favor of a rate increase. A large percentage of our people out here are on Encore, and that would just not be a friendly thing to do. And so I was put in a position of having to call this meeting. So again, I very much appreciate you guys and gals' willingness to show up and work through this. So the items are pretty simple. Let's go ahead and go to agenda item 1, which is to consider approval of a resolution suspending Encore Electric Deliveries ask for a rate increase. Now, I looked back, and we actually addressed this in 2022, right, as a council. I remember we were at Poetry Baptist that night, and I believe the Encore lady actually came out and talked to us. And on that night, we passed a resolution that said we are opposed to the rate increase because as best we knew it, that was the right thing to do. But it turns out when I started down this journey a few days ago that the other option is to suspend or delay the rate increase. And so that sent me down this long rabbit trail of getting to know this steering committee, and you've got information in the packet about that. Basically, that represents 170 cities in Texas that are under Encore's service area. And those 170 cities work together to push back on Encore to say, okay, so you want a lot of things in here, but some of them we think are a little frivolous or a little expensive or you don't need or whatever. We want to negotiate the rate increase, right? And their track record, you've got information in here, has actually been pretty good. They typically knock it down. So the rate increase we're looking at right now that they would like to have will increase, depending on where you look, the average citizen in Poetry's electric bill somewhere $8 to $10 a month, something like that. Which isn't a lot, but $10 here, $10 there, pretty soon you got a lot of money, right? So we want to push back.
Mike, I thought it was 12% for residential.
Well, that's why I say it depends where you look, because I think they try to lead you to believe it's only like $7 a month, but I think it actually ends up being more than $7 a month for your tool shed maybe, but not for your house that's burning $200-300 a month in air conditioning, electric. So either way, it's a significant increase.
Right.
And I guess my other question, is this only for Kaufman County? Does it affect Hunt County at all?
Well, it only affects Encore, it doesn't affect farmers.
Well, yes, it does affect farmers. So I looked into that today. Farmers does get some of their electricity from Encore. So, because I was worried about the per capita. And I was like, how does that work when we only have part of the town using Encore?
Right.
But FEC does get electricity from Encore.
But only a part of it, huh? Not all of it?
Well, I think that depends on where they are. I mean, Encore is the
buying it
largest,
from
they
Encore.
buy it. Yes, that's what they do. They buy it from Encore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of the questions I had, because when you do the math, it shows we have 868 residents, is that?
Well, I thought it said 2,000.
2,069.
TML, our population according to TML, which is where the steering committee looks, is 2,069
Yeah.
people
But-
in the town limits.
But
Yeah, that.
if you take the 94 divided by 11 cents, you get.
But that's a
800.
partial year.
Yeah.
It's prorated.
Yeah.
Prorated.
Right. A
Okay.
full
Yeah,
year is
so-
gonna cost us a little over $200.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out to like, I want to say $15 a month from now until December.
Yeah, that's
They're
why I
on
get
a-
the
they're on a
math, I
calendar
couldn't get
year,
the math
so
to add
we're on
up.
fiscal, so they're on a January
Yeah.
through December 3rd.
Because I was like, okay, where's the $94 coming from?
So, sticking to the agenda items, so the first thing up for consideration and discussion is the resolution to suspend the July 31st effective date of Encore Electric Delivery Company's requested rate change to permit the city time, the steering group, because we're not hiring our own legal. And I did speak with Attorney Berman, and he's the one that actually told me that we'd be foolish not to be a part of this organization, which is how this journey kind of began. And just in case you're wondering, we could hire Berman or someone else to go down to Austin to sit with the PUC and defend us. We'd be foolish to do that because any attorney we hire around here is not going to be familiar with the terrain in Austin and dealing with these representatives and the PUC and all of that, which is why you pitch in a little bit and let this group that's been defending cities against power companies for a very long time and let them do it. So David's like, listen, I'll be happy to go down there and bill you for it, but that'd be really bad use of your money,
Right.
and we're not gonna do that, so.
Now, Mike, I read that this was suspended for 90 days, which basically gives them time to negotiate. It's not in perpetuity.
That's correct, yeah, it's not forever. And in fact, the letter, I'll read it to you from Thomas Mercado. He's at LG Law Firm in Austin, so he's the head of this steering committee legal piece, and has been defending this stuff for many years. He says, I asked him what happens if we just deny the application. I said, what's the difference between deny? And he says, a city could deny the application. If a city denies, the company will immediately appeal to the PUC and no further action is necessary by the city. The company actually prefers, Encore is the company, prefers denial for this reason. It is easiest for them. We recommend, the law firm that's representing us in 170 cities, we recommend suspension because it retains jurisdiction and in this case may delay the rate increase. Here, the company, Encore, has proposed to implement rates 90 days after its filing. If you suspend, the city will have jurisdiction for 125 days Therefore, the PUC is unable to approve implementing rates prior to when it has jurisdiction.
4 months.
And
To
I-
advise you some more time.
Yeah, and I think if I read correctly, I think August the 8th was when they were gonna do the increase. So this suspension does give us time to get our names into the steering committee and stop that increase.
Yeah, we'll
Or
be in there.
delay it,
We'll be in there
Yeah.
very quickly. Well, time for them to negotiate.
Right.
yeah.
So they're gonna negotiate a settlement, so they're asking for, what'd you say, Tom, 70% or whatever, they're gonna probably knock it down to 2/3 of that or
Yeah.
something. Whatever it is, it is. It saves our citizens money, and I think it's a good thing for us to spend our time
I
on,
agree.
so. Okay, any other questions on the resolution to suspend?
I guess the one that when they said per capita, that's not, just to be clear, that's not per household, it's per person.
Per human, right, but that's the second item. Right now, I just wanna deal with.
Oh,
this.
sorry, yeah, you're right.
Keep them in order here. I mean,
Okay.
They're linked, but I went ahead and split them, so
Okay.
this conversation. So right now, we're just discussing the ordinance, or the resolution rather, to suspend.
I make a motion that we pass a resolution to suspend.
I second.
Okay, before we do that, I mean, I
Oh.
know, do we have anybody in the audience that wants
That's
to
right.
speak on this?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion by Councilwoman Hibbs. We have a second by Councilman Anderson to approve the resolution. We'll give it a number after it's passed and signed. All in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, so the resolution passes, so I will sign and date this and get it to our secretary. We have to actually mail it to the law firm and to Encore to let them know that we are
So Mike, I guess, have to do it by FedEx or something? to get it
well,
there
yeah,
on
I'm gonna
Thursday?
send it so that we get tracking and signature and all that sort of stuff, so.
Okay,
And I may send her a soft copy ahead of time, but as soon as we get in the committee, we're a done deal. Okay, so second regular agenda item number 2, consider approval of resolution approving cooperation with the steering committee of cities served by Encore to negotiate with Encore on the city's behalf and take any action necessary. As I said here, this group is also known as the OCSC. I provided a lot of information in the packet on them. Again, the invoice, which is prorated, it's only for the balance of this calendar year, is $94.80. It's 11% or 11 cents per human being that TML says lives in our town. So again, TML has our population as 2,069 human beings that live in the town of Poetry. So that's what they calculated the $94.80 on. There's a list in the packet of the 169, it was 170, I guess. But, I mean, if you read it, it's like every city around. It's, I mean, all of them. And when I went to the websites, and some of you may have, every city has had this on their agenda
Yes.
recently and voted to suspend. So we're in incredibly good company here with taking this position. There's also some material in there that talks about the group and talks about their past accomplishments and all of that, so.
Yeah,
any
I was surprised
discussion?
at their track record. Their track record's really good.
Well, they don't just defend against Encore, it's
All-
all energy companies.
right.
I mean, they'll stand up for you, it doesn't matter who's trying to raise rates. They're gonna be in that conversation, so.
now, when I read that, I took it that a lot of this rate increase, maybe all of it, has to do with trying to avoid that kind of disruption we had 3 years ago, or whatever, when we had loss of power. It's
Yeah.
about doing things, and what I've read is, some, part of it is starting some idle gas plants, like the one over in Lake Ray Hubbard, so that they have it ready to go if there's an outage or whatever, or we don't have wind or solar. And then some of it has to do with some of this switching, of which I think that's what's going on down at 1565 at 276, where they added those.
Right, big
it's-
substation.
Yeah.
It's some of that same thing as is what I read, is to allow them to, if they get into emergency, to move power around without having to shut down everybody,
Right.
to be able to isolate and do that.
Well, they're also claiming that they lost a lot of money in storm repairs and things, and they're trying to recoup some of the expenses there. They've got another program to upgrade you know, part of the impact of the cities and the reason the bigger cities are opposed to this is because cities consume a lot of electricity, right? In their buildings, in their infrastructure and all of that. So their bills are going up, which means their budgets have to increase and all of that. So one of the minor pieces I saw was that they want to, I guess Encore provides a lot of the street lighting in the different towns that they serve. And a lot of that right now is the older style, I'm guessing high pressure sodium lamps and things, or metal halide, whatever, and they're moving to LED. Well, they're gonna start charging for LED lighting even though it's not installed, and so some of the cities are like, well, no, you're not charging me for the new stuff till I get it.
Right.
You know, but they're not gonna get it right away. So there's a lot of little, I think it's, to me, it kinda reminds me of legislation that comes out of either state or federal, that there's just all kinds of stuff in there. You know, they start out with, we just wanna make the system better, and then you start reading and it's like, and we want more expensive pens, and we want free water, and we want,
I mean,
you know, new
Encore's
trucks.
net profit is incredible. I mean, it's incredible. What was it? Almost 345 billion, and that, they had a,
Encore, you mean?
yeah. Their net. And then between 23 and 24, they had another 104 million net increase. And that's gonna continue to go up. The more
Increase in cost, or?
no, they're in their pocket. So the more homes that get built, the more money they're gonna make. You know, I know there's initial startup costs, but, the CEO, how much does he make? I mean, you know, so,
And I don't wanna,
this is to
I don't wanna
safeguard
beat them
our
up. I mean,
community, yeah.
they're kind of neighbors in a way, you know, they provide
Yeah.
us electricity, or at least a lot of our citizens electricity. But I never think it's a bad idea to have a conversation about what they're asking for,
Right.
right? Because whether you're selling cars or you're selling electricity, you're always gonna go in with a big, you know, ask, and somebody's gonna push back and say. So I think basically this process is gonna be this steering committee sort of whittling them down, holding them to account, which I just think is a healthy
Yeah,
thing to
that's
do.
what I took too, is that in these increases, to try to get around having that problem we had 3 years ago, well, how are they doing it, and are they doing it in the most efficient way, or whatever?
Right.
And that's what this
Well,
whole
and
group will
is that
do.
actually being done in here, right? I
Right.
mean, or is that just the title of a section? Are they really doing something? And I don't know if they are or aren't.
Well, and the other one too, it looked like from the rate increases, industry gets more than residential. Ours is roughly 12-something%, where some of the industry is a lot more. So they're socking it to some of
Right.
the heavy industry. Of course,
Okay, any other
anyway.
conversation on, so again, we're approving a resolution to join this steering committee for the price of $94.80. It's 11 cents per citizen. If we continue to be a part, I believe that we should, next year's bill will be a little over $200.
So are they asking for a representative of poetry in
No.
this committee, or is it strictly legal
No,
stuff?
No.
we are giving them, in the resolution, we're basically giving them the ability to act
On behalf of
on
us?
behalf of the city of Poetry. And again, we can send a rep down there anytime we want, but I don't think that'd be,
Well, I think it's a good idea myself. It's a
Yeah.
lot more effective than, say, Mr. Berman or
Right.
anybody else doing it,
I'm
or
I'm
us.
pretty sure they got plenty of cities and attorneys already down there and working on it, so,
Yeah,
you know, we're good.
so anyway, I think it's a good idea.
okay. We have a motion?
Well, we have to have any comments?
We have any, nobody signed up, anybody?
Okay, well
wants
then
to
I'll make
speak?
a motion. We accept this resolution on the steering committee.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Anderson, we have a second by Councilwoman Hibbs. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, we have, nobody signed up for general public comments. Again, anybody in the audience want to make any general public comments? Okay, that's it, meeting adjourned.
Jeez.
Thank you, everyone.
How'd y'all like